Well, good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? This is Digitally Fit and Fabulous back in the kitchen. So this morning we're going to put together a recipe of protein bagels, and I'm going to use cottage cheese in mine. You can do it with Greek yogurt. You can do it with tofu. I'm going to try this one with cottage cheese, and then at some point we'll come back and we'll make the one that's going to have tofu in it to see how that goes. So we're going to start off with 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. The recipe actually says that you can use the self-rising flour, but I generally have all-purpose. So because I have all-purpose, I'm going to need to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So put that in, and then I'll need 1/2 teaspoon of salt to go in. Let's see, yeah, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then the next item is just going to be your cottage cheese, and it's 1 cup. And so you can blend your cottage cheese. You can put it in a blender and blend it, or you can use it just as it is, low fat or high fat, whatever you want. So I've already blended mine to make it a smooth consistency. So we get that in here, and once we get that in here, we're just going to go ahead and get it mixed into a dough, and then we'll be able to pour that out onto a mat and work it so that we can form our bagels. And this is just a quicker way to make bagels, especially if you want to make them high protein, easier way to do it. And again, like I said, you get several different ways to do it. You can use Greek yogurt, you can use the cottage cheese, or you can even use tofu. And if you use tofu, you would be using the silken tofu, the one that's very, very soft. You wouldn't have to do anything but pour it in here. So again, I'm interested in making the vegan yogurt. Listen at me. The vegan version of the bagels. Now in these particular bagels, I am going to add some cheese, because you can put cheese or whatever you want in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the refrigerator and add some to my recipe. I'm just gonna simply use some cheddar cheese that I have shredded up. Let me just throw in a little bit of that. Okay, I think that'll be enough. Right, go ahead and get it mixed in, and then we're gonna pour it out onto my silicone mat, and we'll get it worked in. So let's go ahead and get my mat rolled out so that I can get that down, and we'll go ahead and get that worked in. And this mat is just so handy. Love having it. So get me some flour. And the recipe also said, like, if it feels like your dough is too dry, you can always go back in with some cottage cheese if need be. We'll see, because it actually feels kind of good. So let's spread a little flour around. Let's go ahead and get this down a bit crumbly, so I may have to add in, or I might even put in a dollop of Greek yogurt. A lot of times people say the Greek yogurt may make it tangy, so you can always do your mix half and half and not just use complete, cottage cheese. Maybe do, if you don't like that tanginess, the over tanginess, you can always do half Greek yogurt and half of the cottage cheese. And that's, you always have to play with recipes to see what you really like. And I preheated my oven to 375, the recipe said. And I think I might end up putting just a tad, I don't know. little crumb here. I'm trying to decide whether I want to add in either more cottage cheese, or I could add in a dollop of Greek yogurt. But we're gonna see. They want you to work it like so, kneading it to get it into that consistency. Doesn't seem to be too sticky, so that's good. I thought I was gonna need to add something, but I guess I'm not, so that's good. And then of course, once we get the dough where we need it to be, we're simply gonna divide it up. And the good thing about these protein bagels is you do not have to boil them. You know, that's the one thing you don't have to do that you do with regular bagels, is you don't have to boil them. So that's good. Just get them shaped, and once you get them shaped, you get them set and put in the oven and you bake. So I like that whole idea. So let's see. I think we got just about got it where we want it. Cheese is all worked in. Got it shaped into a nice round ball. Just kind of pat it out a bit. And now I'm gonna get my bench scraper to cut it. So again, we're gonna cut into fours. And then you just want to take your dough ball. And I think I need just a bit of flour on my hands, not on the bagels per se, just my hands to keep them from sticking. And we're just going to shape it, first of all, into a ball. I got it into a ball shape, and I'm just going to take my thumb and like go through the middle, and then that's where you can just kind of turn it and shape it a bit more. And you also can do the method where you take it and roll it into a log form, and once you roll it into the log form, you can go ahead and shape it and actually pull your ends together. So there's my little bagel. So we'll get that on a parchment sheet and we'll go on and do the next one. And again, just the same thing, a repeat of shaping the bagel dough. And then we'll go in with my thumb. You could always, if you didn't want to go in with the thumb, you could take a cap of some type or some small biscuit cutter and just go in and actually make the little hole. So going in, just simply making that little hole. And then like bagels that we normally do, you're going to egg wash on top, or you can do the cream cheese on top. Let's see. So next, I'll try to see if I can do these two. I've never done the whole rolling it out into a log method. Let's see what that is about. That would be the method, is to roll it out into a log, but I don't see myself doing that. I just prefer doing the circle bagels and continuing to just kind of shape them in that manner. And it's as I always say, always best to make your own food. I love cooking, So I love making my own. That way I know what's in it. Don't have to guess. You know what you put in it. You know how you've handled your food. So that's always the best thing about making, your food and making it your own, because you know what you put in it. And then you can attest to how you handle the food, and it saves you money too. I mean, going out to eat is nice. It's a nice treat. But at the end of the day, with the way things are these days, I always put a little bit more flour in my hand to get into my my bagel hole. But anyway, the way things are, people just do not and don't practice cleanliness enough for me to want to always just go out and eat. Okay. All right. So we got them all shaped. I'm going to go ahead and get my hands a quick wash. And then once I get a quick wash, I think I will actually do the use heavy cream on mine instead of egg. So whenever you're doing items or pie crust or whatever you have that needs some kind of something on top, you can always use heavy cream in the place. If you don't want to use egg wash, you can use heavy cream. And so that's what I choose to use this time, so I'll get that out. Give it a little shake. And then this is also at the point of where you're putting your heavy cream on. If you wanted to put more cheese on, this is where you would put more cheese on. And I probably will, just to give it that prominent thing, letting you know that, hey, cheese is in here. You can also put jalapenos on. Jalapeno and cheddar go get well together. So, it's just whatever you want to put on top. I think, like I said, I'll just go back and dabble a little bit more cheese on. All right. That's done. Perfecto. Get my cheese out again. All right. So we'll sprinkle a little cheese across here, and then we're going to go in the oven with these nice little protein bagels. And again, temperature is going to be 375 for 25 minutes, or depending on your oven, could be less, could be more, but depending on your oven. And I think I'm going to do the wheat one to do everything bagel topping. Okay. So here are our bagels. We're going to go in the oven. We're going to bake them at 375, and then once they're done, we will come back and see what we end up with and how our protein bagels turned out. So we'll be back, guys. So we're back, and we've taken the bagels out, and they look nice. Gonna try to lift one up, golden brown on the bottom. They feel really soft in texture. So it says to let them cool before you do anything. So I'm gonna take them off, put them on my cooling rack, and let them cool. So thank you guys for coming along in my kitchen to see me make the protein bagels. I hope everybody has a great Saturday. And remember to like, subscribe, and share. This is Digitally Fit and Fabulous. I see you guys next time in my kitchen.